What's up, Charlie? How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you. Thank you. And special GM shout out. Good morning, good evening to everybody on Twitter. Thank you for joining us on this very special Twitter live stream. My name is Danny Lee. I'm known as Wagmint. Uh, but today I'm going to be kind of a moderator, host, and a friend. I'm very excited to host or co-host this live stream with the one and only Charlie Cohen, who is the founder of her Genesis. Well, her project is called Restless, and the Genesis drop is coming out this week, and we're going to be able to dive in and talk about this a little bit more. But this is a really fun experience because, again, we really wanted to make sure that we could provide some visual aid and some context to metaverse projects as it's high fidelity and highly visual. And so we're testing out this new format. Hopefully, the audience can enjoy this. We'd love to hear your feedback as well. But this is our first run at it. And special shout out to Team GAMA. Who is putting on this production, and the production team behind it is Subtractive. So shout out to a very big team. It takes a village, it always does. But the cool thing is that we're one village in Web3. So yeah, with that being said, I'd also like to introduce in the GAMA team. And what we'll do is we'll just talk about our projects, and then we'll talk about how it applies to the metaverse. Some of our concepts and our thoughts around it, sharing some alpha and some of the cool things that we're all working on and thinking about. So yeah, without further ado, please, I'd like to introduce Dan Ferris from Team GAMA.
Hey, Charlie. Really excited to be here with you guys for our first ever Twitter live stream. I'm here at the GAMA headquarters here in Los Angeles. We are just coming off of a fun week in Miami where we all got to hang out, get together, and see all the exciting projects that are happening. It's been just over a year since GAMA launched, and the core aspect of our project is we're building the metaverse and the foundation of what we believe is an immersive entertainment experience that we want to build on. And Charlie, being one of those partners who is building something really special in her own right, has been building this over the past few years. But us being able to come together and collaborate on bringing assets, 3D assets, immersive experiences to a gaming metaverse, one in which you can experience, and one in which we're building the principles for the future. And so we're excited to sit here and hear about Charlie and her project and some of the ideas that we're building together. And so with that, I would love to hear, I want to give the mic to Charlie to hear about Restless, hear about everything she's done over the past few years, because I think she tells a great story about how far she's come, developing assets to the point where she's now building assets in Unreal 5, and one in which we're excited to showcase in the GAMA Space Station, which is our metaverse.
Thanks so much for that. Pressure is on now with that intro. So my story, I have been in metaverse fashion for a long time, since metaverse was generally accepted as a term. I started my fashion journey when I was 15, launched a brand. At that time, I was living in New Zealand. It was very quiet, and I thought it would be a great opportunity to figure out how the business of fashion actually works. And then by the time I got around to going to fashion school in London, I was very immersed in digital media. I started blogging around 2008, 2009. So I'm just dating myself now. And when I launched the Charlie Cohen brand out of university in 2012, I'd already sort of built up a presence online and also become very invested in my own digital identity. And that was something that I really wanted to translate into the Charlie Cohen brand, even though it was a physical fashion brand. I was always looking for ways to build out more context and more story in digital. And I think most importantly, trying to provide a platform with each physical collection that we dropped to be able to have conversations, discourse around things that were happening in society, politics, issues around mental health. We'd always theme the collections like this, and then kind of take it into the digital space to talk more about them and kind of bring community in. Probably around 2015, 2016, we started getting to play around with AR and VR, which allowed us to start kind of leveling up these digital story worlds and experiences, and really start to provide a viable alternative way for like a global community and fan base that we had to be able to participate in the brand, that didn't require being at physical fashion shows, being in London or New York. And that was really exciting, just starting to remove some of the barriers to entry around the fashion industry. And luxury industry is of course very exclusive and gate capped. So really appealed to me, anything we could do to start breaking down some of those barriers. 2019, we started working with the gaming industry, and it was our first exploration of digital assets rather than just digital experiences. And through 2020, kind of amazing timing with the pandemic, we were able to really push into building the digital fashion side of the CHARLI COHEN brand, and got to collaborate with some pretty sick partners. So like Sanrio of Hello Kitty, Pokemon, Reebok, Assassin's Creed, and we really got into exploring this concept of interoperability. And that was really what led me down the NFT rabbit hole, looking for technology that could really facilitate interoperability of digital fashion. And off the back of that, and off the back of this experimentation we were doing with the CHARLI COHEN brand, I decided actually I want to build a new business that focuses specifically on this issue of interoperability, of removing the barrier to entry for artists and designers to be able to build their own brands. And with Restless, we make it easy for anyone to be able to create and sell fashion collections that are interoperable across the metaverse, across traditional game spaces, and that also have physical redeemables as well.
Something that's very present now, right? Obviously, between our two projects, and taking fashion digital wearables and make it into a gamified experience, right? That's something that's available now, and really excited to showcase that. But CHARLI, this is an idea that you had a number of years ago, and I really think it's a unique approach, how you were doing fashion, but wanted to make fashion for the gaming industry, the gaming market. And that's unique. Can you explain your thought process of how you're approaching fashion, but for gamers as well, and gaming experiences?
Sure. So I think, gaming is a really important escapism and also expression of identity. And fashion, of course, comes into that. And when we're looking at digital fashion, like the purpose of fashion is to be worn. And so, having something that exists purely as a collectible that you can just show people on your phone, it's nice, but it sort of defeats the point of this expression of identity. So being able to create direct to avatar, creating skins that potentially get seen by hundreds, thousands more people in your social circle, via like social gaming and open world gaming, versus if you're wearing something in the physical world. I think it's really important. I think people put so much stock and value into the avatar and virtual identity that they've created in game, especially when, for a new generation, open world games are the new social network. It's where, you finish school and then you go and hang out in game on audio. And your avatar is as much you as your physical self who's just been with your friends physically in school. It's just a very like natural extension. And like when it comes to identity as well, I think there are two ways that we need to look at it. One is that you want to have this really fluid, seamless transition from your physical identity into your digital identity, in some cases. And in others, you want the ability to explore identity, explore alter egos in virtual spaces, which is a much safer, more welcoming space to do it than potentially in the physical world, especially depending on your kind of social geographic situation. So providing the tools and the composability, and the ability to experiment in those digital spaces is really exciting.
Love that, Charlie. And I think right now might be a good time actually to show some of your highlights on all of the things that you've done in the past. I think when we talk about
Let's roll them.
interoperability, yeah, and collaboration, let's take a look at some of Charlie's past work. So let's cue the reel.
I don't know what the hell you're here for or what you think about me. There's one thing that I can tell you, I don't need your sympathy. You say the preachers tell your story, that the truth will set you free. But now you're doing the time, going out of your mind, 'cause you can't put the blame on me. Get out of my way. Get out of my way. Get out of my way. Get out of my way.
Hey, let's go.
Let's go. That was a vibey musical interlude as well.
Totally. And one thing that I want to kind of throw out there is, I think that there's a lot of different ideas and definitions on, whether it's interoperability, composability, collaboration. If we look at it in the sense of just like, merging different people and communities and projects and interests, I think that there's a pretty solid foundation that could apply to any one of those terminologies. And the work that you've already done, whether it be in the fashion space, the digital space, the gaming space, what's really fun is seeing those worlds all coming together in Web3 in a very strong and powerful way, backed by incredible communities, both endemic, non-endemic, and just new interested parties. So you have a very impressive body of work. I don't want to put you on the spot, but I just kind of got to ask, like, is there any one experience for you that really meant a lot to you, that stood out versus the rest, whether it be a challenge or a brand that you really wanted to work with, or a memorable part of the experience? I'm sure shout out to all of your collaborators, but is there one that just kind of sticks out from your experience personally?
I mean, there's definitely been a few. I think one of the really early key moments in the brand, which was the year after I launched Charlie Cohen, so 2013, we had a centerfold spread in Vogue with Kate Upton, shot by Mario Testino, and it was also on the billboard at Piccadilly Circus, which is, I guess, London equivalent to Times Square. So that was like an insane moment so early on in the kind of creation of the brand, especially because I didn't fall into the kind of traditional luxury fashion category kind of intentionally, because always gone a bit against the grain. So that was really amazing validation. And then I think more recently, oh God, this is a difficult one. Do I go Pokemon or do I go Sanrio? I'm actually going to lean Sanrio here, because although Pokemon was awesome, the project we did with Sanrio and with Gudetama, who, if you're not familiar, is essentially a depressed egg yolk, was very close to my heart. We were able to build a VR experience that was kind of a darkly humorous way of giving the wearer of the headset an insight into what it would be like to be in the mind of somebody who was depressed. So in this case, kind of being in Gudetama's head and looking out. And that was also the first time we got to really dig into interoperability. So we had the collection in VR, we had physical garments with AR lenses, we had the garments wearable in a mobile game called High Rise. And it was, I think, the kind of aha moment for me in terms of what like Restless would eventually become.
That's awesome. Wow. Yeah. Thanks for sharing that. And you know, what I'd like to do is kind of ping pong back to GAMA, but to set a little bit of context for anyone that's tuning in, you know, GAMA and Restless, we all met together actually in Miami during Art Basel. And it was pretty serendipitous. But again, you know, when we're all kind of building towards a common goal and we're in this space, it's quite small. And so the fact that we're able to get together worlds apart, you know, from the UK to Los Angeles to Miami, that one was fun. And just a little bit of context, GAMA built out this metaverse gaming experience, a custom metaverse experience for G Money and the 9DCC pop-up at NFT Now's Web3 Metropolis Gateway. And GAMA will tell a little bit more about your journey and, you know, what you guys represent and what you guys are building. But, you know, I think it was very cohesive that GAMA and Restless are both building high fidelity content in a metaverse world that is not limited to one specific product SKU. And it's really, again, about attracting that interoperability. What are all the things that are possible in the metaverse? And so whether that be digital fashion and or physical fashion that ties in from the URL to the IRL, and gaming, and all the other areas of interest, whether it be, you know, subculture or pop culture elements. I think that it was a very natural conversation when we all met. So it's cool that we could get together post Basel and here on Twitter live stream. So I'm going to kick it over to GAMA to talk a little bit more about their journey and as well show some of their content.
Yeah, absolutely. And to your point, we're all down in Miami, and that allowed us to really feature the latest updates of the GSS, which is one of many directions that we're heading in. But to your point earlier, we're all essentially one big happy family. We're all working towards one big goal, and we all understand the opportunity to scale is the ability to work together. And what we did down in Miami was feature a customized metaverse experience for G Money and 9DCC, featuring their 3D assets, and made a game where players can battle each other during their live activation during the 9DCC Art Blocks mint, which was a whole special story in their own right. But we're fortunate enough to partner with them and feature this experience for that week down in Miami. And this is what we are featuring now with CHARLI, which is really just scratching the surface of where we believe this space is headed. And we can show you and show you the premiere in a few minutes. And then I think we can open it up to talk about what we see the future headed and where we want to take these assets. But back to my initial question with CHARLI, something we've been working on for a while is taking these assets and make it into an immersive experience, a playable gaming experience. And when you're marrying those two topics, those two ideas, there's a lot of different ways that you can picture it heading with utilizing the latest technology. And this is what we're trying to do with this immersive metaverse experience built in Unreal 5. From the very beginning, we identified that we wanted to go with the strongest visuals to make it look as realistic and lifelike as possible, and then build everything from those principles. And this is something that we're excited to feature here with Charlie and Restless. And again, this is just scratching the surface of where we believe this space is heading. Bring that back up here. We'll have the GSS featured here soon. We'll get that video up and running, and it'll just give you a sneak peek of the metaverse, which is the GAMA space station. That's the core of GAMA's metaverse, and it's currently built in 3 different phases, which represents the 3 different experiences that we're offering now, which is just the beginning, again, of what we're building towards. But when we feature, it's going to be the 42G, which is the personal living quarters. This is essentially the personal real estate for all crew members. And here's the video now. We can kick it over to Jesse, who should be playing now. Jesse, are you here?
Hey, Dan. Hey, Charlie. Can you guys hear me?
Hey,
We can hear you loud and clear.
All right. This is Jesse sending transmission from inside the Metaverse GSS. I'm ready. And it's a great pleasure to meet you, Charlie, and also Danny from Very Friends. And actually, Charlie, I was about to mention that I actually spent 4 years in UK. I spent 3 years in Liverpool and another year and a half in London. So I really miss UK. I was
So
in
you're an
London.
honorary Brit.
Yeah, I was in London like 3 months ago. It's good to be back. But now here I'm in the metaverse. First of all, because I can't see the live screen, so can you guys verify if you guys can see my screen right now, which I'm currently inside of the GSS?
Yes.
All right, so
We see the special tree in front of you.
yeah, it's a nice bonsai, isn't it? So I'll walk around the general environment and I'll show you the current phase of the GSS, and then we're gonna review Charlie's beautiful piece of work in the special museum section. So right now we're actually inside of the GAMA space station. It's a giant space station that is currently orbiting the low Earth orbit. So we're starting from this grand hall, and keep in mind we're still working on this day and night. So none of these are meant to be final. But again, you should be able to tell that everything prepped here is like ultra high fidelity. The entire assets was built on Unreal 5, the latest engine, and I'm gonna show you some of the features here. So here is a great angle of demonstrating the ray tracing and lumens feature from the Unreal 5. As you can see, all the lightings are actually calculated in real time by the engine and send you a very accurate response. So here we're in the hallway, and this is the exterior of the space station, and we're inside of its belly. So the first sector that I want to show you guys is this 42G room that we're gonna basically offer every of our players for their own space pod. So as you're inside the space pod, we designed a very simple loft. But in the future, you'll be able to have the full rights to customization, the entire room to your needs. But just enjoy this beautiful view from the outer space. Actually, one feature that we're currently working on is that we're trying to integrate with the real stats of the NASA database, so that based on your current time zone, you're actually seeing the very accurate reflections of what the space station should be located at. So right now we're orbiting the low Earth orbit, and that's our beautiful mothers. And here on the second stair, we're preparing something that we want to integrate to the environment. So this giant TV is actually going to be integrated with a lot of the in real world experience APIs. Things like Netflix, Spotify, all the entertainment content that we enjoy on a daily basis. We'll be able to find a way to migrate all those content inside of the metaverse, so you can actually sit in here in the couch and enjoy the content that you're currently enjoying using the traditional web browser. And again, this GSS metaverse by day one is a multiplayer. So we already started hosting our own AMAs or community gatherings inside of the GSS. So it's very natural to invite your friends to hang out with you in the environment, and that's the 42G. I mean, the good thing about the metaverse is that we designed the GSS from day one with the mind of we want to maximum the modulability and the interoperability of the entire environment. So none of these modules are permanent fixed to the station. Everything can be altered, can be changed, can be customized in a way. And the entire space station is massive. So we designed a transportation system, a convoy, like you going to the airport. And this convoy is going to take us from stations to stations or modules from modules. So let's take on here. And uh, also, Charlie and Danny and Dan, feel free, and all the viewers that's currently on this live stream, feel free to ask any questions, and I'll be happy to answer any questions you guys have. So as right now we're traveling inside of the GSS, we're approaching our next station, which is a reference design of what our imagination of a space nightclub should be, that we call Club Hyperdrive. And again, this is the location to where any of the events host, or any of the brands, any of the musicians, the artists can host a virtual entertainment event experience. So again, I want to demonstrate, because we actually put a lot of the materials, the walls panel, as metallic or chromey feeling to basically best reflect the lights. And here we are at the entrance of the Club Hyperdrive. And we did invented a whole bunch of fake companies within our metaverse narratives. But here is a perfect example of, potentially we can host the real brands in real world, and we can put their logos and advertisement, and everything here is for the placeholder for hosting any specific event. And now we're currently traveling through the wormhole, and here we are at the grand venue of the Club Hyperdrive. So again, this place is massive, and it certainly can fit a regular sized in real life event in the metaverse. And we actually want to tribute to Ready Player Me, the movie, that we really like what they have for the zero gravity dance pool. And here we are at the zero gravity dance pool, and everything here is floating. So let's take a dive, shall we? I'll just take a dive here, like that. Boom, you're floating in zero gravity, and we have these huge cylinders for you to hang out with your friend and dance and stuff. And boom, we're back to gravity. So I really like this sector, and there's much work needed to be done, but it's a very good start for us. And now let me show you the DJ control center, or the DJ booth. Of course, all these are holographic displays that we can project whatever content we want. And this is the feature that I'm currently working with some of the musicians and artists, including myself. I make music too. So the idea is that we want to build this control panel to be a full trigger tool of potentially any synthesizers or music gears in real world. So the idea is that if you're a musician, if you have your Ableton Suite file or a Logic file or any file from any DAWs, then you can basically plug in your file into GSS, and if you are the DJ of the day or of the night, and then this control panel will become a full screen MIDI control center for your real assets in the real world, and it will triggering through MIDI in and MIDI out, or USB in and USB out of your actual synthesizer and music gears of your studio. So this is the only way that we can actually host a metaverse live music experience instead of a pre-edited, pre-made videos, as the other guys are currently doing right now. So I'm super excited for developing this feature. Okay, so let's work out from the other side, and let's move to the museum or the forum, which is the next station. It's quite a bit of walk, isn't it? So and again, we're opening this metaverse to everyone, so everyone can go to gamma.io, our website, and download a beta. So everything you see from my screen, you can start trying from today. You can try today.
And the
Great,
download is
thanks.
free, right?
Yeah, it's free downloading. Okay, let's take the convoy to the next destination.
Okay, and while you're on the conveyor, this is a massive space, right? Jesse, can you talk a little bit about the scale of this environment that you guys built out? I know it's modeled off, GSS standing for Gamma Space Station, but can you let the audience know, a little bit more about how big this thing is?
Yeah, the entire space station right now, to scale to real world, is about 7 miles long. And again, we started by offering these 3 reference modules, but the concept is that it's expandable and it's limitless. So this is actually one of the great advantages of metaverse, isn't it? So like in traditional setup, if you want to build something like this, then it's pretty much fixed from day one. But again, embrace the Web 3.0 and embrace the community. We actually saying, hey, okay, how about we design everything super modular, and it's gonna be functioning just as the real International Space Station. Because when humans started to design International Space Station, it was the modules after modules after modules after modules from a tiny little single module. It gradually over the years it expanded to what it is right now. So that's kind of like the same concept we're taking as our own Gamma space station. But again, it takes a couple of hours to design a new module in Unreal 5, which is relatively mature now, and also it gives us the maximum flexibility of how we want to enable the experience here and there. So this module, for instance, this is what we call the forum, which originally was our social plaza for our community members, but we just finished this activation event with Art Basel in Miami with 90cc and G Money, that we basically re-ramping the entire environment to the Art Basel event. And from here, you can see all the logos that we did for the event. And again, appreciate the ray tracing and Unreal 5 Lumen features. And this is the best as you can get for the current 3D engine that dealing with real-time lightings and stuff. So let me walk you through the environment. We got some launch pad that you can take advantage with to travel faster. But hey, I'm gonna pause right here and I'm gonna handle the microphone to Danny and Dan, because behind this misty glass is what we're gonna review for today for CHARLI with her beautiful work. So I'm gonna pause right here and let you guys take the mic, and whenever you're ready, I'm gonna start walking towards the area that actually shows the beautiful garment of what CHARLI have been achieved. Okay, so I'm passing the mic right now.
Well, thanks, Jesse. And I guess I'll take the first stab. This is Danny. There's a Danny and a Dan. Oh, and here we have CHARLI. And I think I just want to kind of preface before we go into showing, what is all possible in a 3D world. Again, a quick recap, right? Gamma built this out 7 miles to scale, guys. Like, that's pretty incredible work. And again, the context is that it's limitless. So that's just iteration 1, which is a play on words for 90cc. I think what was also really fascinating and fun is, again, the gaming experience and background that both Gamma and Restless and CHARLI come from, and the fact that they're both building on Unreal Engine 5, again, just kind of gave us a lot of ideas and sparks. And so, CHARLI, we'd like to show you a little 3D composite of taking some of your assets and putting it into the Gamaverse. So we hope you like it in the short amount of time that we're able to do it, but I think you understand and can appreciate. And for the folks that are tuned in also, building 3D models in a metaverse Unreal Engine 5 environment
It is no
it's not.
easy feat. And like
Absolutely.
seeing how insanely beautiful this environment is, and like seeing like Lumen being used, I can absolutely appreciate the amount of work and hours that have gone into this.
Oh, that's great. Dan, any words as we guide the bot into the Gamma Restless?
I'm ready for the reveal and what this conversation leads to. And I love how Restless is a take on fashion, but also a futuristic take on what fashion can look like, and that coincides with Gamma's narrative so well, which is why I love this feature. But I don't want to spoil anything. So Jesse, let's go ahead. Charlie, are you ready for the reveal?
I'm so ready.
Okay.
All right, let's
Let's
go.
make
Boom.
sure that we do a
Go
split
ahead.
screen
Without further
with
ado.
Charlie. Let's make sure that we have the screen on Charlie as well. We would love to catch her live reaction.
For that full meme react.
All
There
right.
we go. There we go.
All right. In 3, 2, 1, boom.
Oh, so sick.
There it is. I really appreciate how it fits with the general environment, and I'm really amazed because I was checking the 3D files, right? But I was actually amazed by the amount of detail we've been able to reproduce inside of the GSS, and the fact that it only takes a couple of hours for us to do the whole thing. So here's the logo of Restless, and here's because again, this is actually my idea. I'm like, hey, why do we make it massive, right? Because this is the again advantage of metaverse, that we can rescale everything to whatever we want. And this is actually my idea to actually scale it up compared to my default character here, just to show you guys all the details. And now passing the mic to Charlie. Explain about this
I mean, like,
designs.
first of all, like, it looks like it was built for this metaverse. So like the aesthetic is so on point. But yeah, we have so we'll go into like a little bit of the lore after this, but we have the guardian energy that is pulsing through the jacket, because this jacket mint is the key to guardian, which is how Restless evolves through next year. And it's captured so amazingly in this space. Yeah, very transfixed by this.
And here we also have two separate smaller scale for a closer exam, and we have another one on there. But again, if you guys pay attention to the floor, and all these are calculated real time by Lumen and by Unreal 5. So again, this is the best showcase of a digital garment in any metaverse, and this is the best in the industry right now. I can confidently say that. So again, of course, we're still keep working on the features, but the general concept is that artists like Charlie, whether it's a garment or it's a full set of fashion shows, that our metaverse, the Gamma Space Station, can handle it. And this is actually an invitation for anyone out there in the industry, that we're extremely open for collaborations, and we build this in about 10 months or so, that everything is ready. Because again, this is another idea I want to emphasize about how we want to put a lot of designs behind the metaverse, is that by day one, I'm extremely cautious of not just using any existing game mechanisms. Like, I don't want this to be another Fortnite, or I don't want this to be another shooting game, or like a MMORPG, or actually design any games in. I want to finish the ground fundamental of all the tool skill sets and all the components a true immersive metaverse should be powering and will be able to support. So that's why we started by designing the general construction first, the modular assets first. Now it's a great timing to show to you guys that how easy for our metaverse for Gamma to integrate any digital assets and host potentially any events or any kind for from all the different parties. And also talking about a game perspective, because we're a space narrative project, and we're actually designing the missions as our game mechanisms. And it's just like if you're working for NASA or SpaceX, that the astronauts or crew members will have different missions, right? So the concept is that each mission will be in its unique game mechanisms, designs, narratives, and even the way how you want to play it. And we're rolling out missions after missions after missions. So this gives us the maximum flexibility how we want to incorporate the metaverse experience to different parties and to individuals and to the gaming industry and gaming and gamers out there as well. But again, while I'm just showing around these sectors, I'm passing the mic to Danny, Charlie, and Dan.
Yep. And thanks. Yeah, thanks for that explanation. Guys, quick little soundbite. As mentioned earlier, the Gamma space station is currently built out at scale to 7 miles. And Jesse just mentioned that they built this out in about 10 months. So if my math serves me correctly, it's almost 1 mile per month. Sit on that. Think about that a little bit. Also, I'd like to actually pass it back over to Charlie to talk a little bit more about the story and the lore, because we have some additional assets that we could walk and talk through with. Again, I think the advantage of us having this Twitter live stream is that we could narrate in real time. By the way, this is totally live. This is not pre-recorded. So thanks for tuning in. And yep, super excited to dive in a little bit more to the lore with some of the assets as well. So let's go to Charlie on screen 1, and then screen 2. Let's pull up some of the Restless content. All right, so I think first we're going to show the Restless story trailer to just kind of kick off and bring everyone up to speed on the latest content and assets to help explain the story. And then from there, we have some additional content too.
I believe that art creates conversation, and technology creates the ability to expand that conversation.
When opportunity knocks, answers it.
Your creations will shape our future.
delivered all around the world.
Latest word also from National Press Services in Washington, D.C. Details of this continuing story.
So let me caveat by saying the Pomeranian that was the inspiration for our main character here is like losing her mind in the background. So you're probably going to hear that throughout the coming minutes.
That's awesome. Cheers for high fidelity content, guys. That's incredible stuff. And yeah, if you could dive a little bit more, I think there's kind of like two things that might be good context to discuss. One, again, a little bit more about like your plans, what the brand represents, and what the vision is. I think that would be good for everyone to just kind of understand a little bit more. And then we got a little peek into the process of the logistics on minting and how you've kind of created a newer experience based off how to claim and then also the user experience on what they're claiming. We found that to be very interesting and very exciting. So yeah, could you walk us through that a little bit more?
Yeah, of course. So like customization is really fundamental to what Restless is about. So from the get-go with this debut launch, the user experience allows you to customize your key, which is this code, with 10 different artworks that have been created by emerging artists in our community that the Restless community kind of voted in to participate in the Genesis drop in a very, very Web3 fashion. So you design your coat the way you like it, you mint it, and that serves as your key to what is next for Restless. And this is really just an introduction to the creator tools that we are building within Restless. Over time, there will be numerous different fashion silhouettes that you're able to customize and modify. All the elements of these will be modular, so you have a lot of flexibility over how you can customize them, but also because we have tested these silhouettes in multiple different game environments, optimized them for all of these different metaverses, you can be confident in knowing that when you mint your final garment with the kind of graphics and textures that you've chosen from the limited edition drops that will continue to run, that it's going to function in all of these different spaces. Initially, through next year, we're really focused on some amazing high profile collaborations, both with Web3 native artists and projects, but also big traditional IPs from the music, gaming, pop culture worlds. And again, the way those drops will work is that you can come in and build your own interoperable wearables using these limited edition artworks. You can also redeem physical pieces as well that are custom one-of-ones to the asset that you've created digitally. The bigger play here for Restless is fully opening up the toolkit to artists and user-generated content so that any creator can come in and just by being able to create, awesome 2D artwork, they're able to use the Restless platform and marketplace to be able to build out their own brands. And at the same time, individuals can come in and have this really awesome social experience of being able to create and customize their identity and participate in this very interactive hub world before taking their new wearable, their new identity into the games and social environments that they're already participating in. So that's kind of the overall premise of Restless.
Awesome, thanks, Charlie. And for anybody that's tuned in midstream, Charlie, let's talk about the drop. It's happening on December the 15th. There's a 1,000 total supply. The price point has been determined, and I believe that's at 0.069 ETH. So it's a quite limited run, so it's super exciting. Yeah. And do you want to just let everybody know where they can get more info on you, Restless, socials, website, Discord? Let's let everybody know where you're at, where they can find you.
Yeah, for sure. So the first place to go is Twitter, which is Restless XYZ. That's Restless with no vowels, as is Web3 tradition. So RSTLSS XYZ. And from there, you can link through to the Discord. The drop information links will always come through on Discord first before going to Twitter. And when you go through to Mint, it will ask you to verify that you're part of our Discord. So get in and join the Discord now. And that also ensures that you will have the fastest access. So as Danny said, the drop itself, supply is pretty limited to 1,000 keys, which is this customizable coat, 10 variations that you can customize, priced at 0.069 ETH for the DGen community, of course. And then in addition, we will also be dropping a limited run of what we're describing as carbonware. So our physical garment that has AR lenses integrated for both Snapchat and Instagram, and is NFC enabled as well. There are 500 of those pieces available that can be purchased in ETH or fiat at $95, including worldwide shipping. So that is another option as well.
Awesome. Thanks so much for that. So yep, you heard it from Charlie. That's where you can find everything. And we're super excited for your upcoming drop. Congratulations. We know that it's been a very long and trying journey to get here, but it's incredible work. So hats off to you and the team. Congratulations. We're all rooting for you. And then, yeah, and then we'll kick it over to Dan. We'll kick it over to Dan and Jesse for any final comments as we.
Yeah, Jesse's officially out of the metaverse. He came downstairs and joined us. So happy to have him back, safe and sound, back from the metaverse. But yeah, Charlie, thank you for sharing your story. Really exciting project. Mint is right around the corner. Obviously through Twitter. You're so great at providing updates and information on Discord as well. So join there. And yeah, thank you for tuning in and seeing our GAMA metaverse. Free to download from our website, gamma.io.
Actually, you know what? I want to make it not free. Let's make it not completely free. Anyone feel free to go to the website and download. We support both Mac and any gaming PC. With the price of sending a Twitter of your most beautiful screenshot of the game. That's gonna be the price, okay? and at us. So again, thanks for everyone for this great opportunity. And I want to just invite any other great artists or any brands and parties. If you want to collaborate with us, our metaverse is ready. And go to the website, try it for yourself, and reach out to us. Yeah.
Good stuff.
All right. Well, yep. In closing, it was great for all of us to come together again under this very short time of preparation, but the opportunity was exciting enough to make it all happen. So to all the global audience, thanks for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed our first attempt at this Twitter live stream thing, and I feel like we're going to be doing a lot more of this to come. So yeah, thank you everybody. Hope you have a good day. Follow Charlie, follow Restless, follow Gamma, and let's go.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Gamma,
Thanks,
Danny, and everyone.
Yeah.